that they may contribute to the common good. Give us wisdom, compassion, and particular concern for those whose voices are least often heard. Sustaining Spirit, you give us community, comfort, and joy. Where there is division, bring understanding. Where there is weariness, bring encouragement. Where there is uncertainty, bring hope. As we look ahead to the summer events in our town, bless all who plan, prepare, volunteer, and take part, that these gatherings may draw our community together. Creating, redeeming, and sustaining God, help us to love this town as you do. And we thank you for Richard, our town mayor, for Paul, town clerk, and for all our councillors, officers, staff, and volunteers, and for all who serve our community. May we listen carefully, speak kindly, and act wisely for the good of Dunstable, its people, and the natural world around us. Amen.
Amen.
Thanks for good meeting.
Firstly, on the agenda is apologies. Has there been any apologies?
We have apologies from Councillor Blennerhassett.
Are there any specific declarations of interest? Not, and obviously we get to a pertinent point. Can people please make that aware? Thank you. Public question time. Has there been any notification of questions from the public at all? Previous minutes. Do I have the authority to sign as a correct record the minutes of the annual council meeting held on Monday, the 18th of May, 2026?
Yeah.
Very much. And do I have that seconded? Okay, thank you. Okay, members, right, we'll move on to the next agenda item, which is committee reports. I will call on the relevant committee chairs or their deputies to represent their reports. In accordance with the usual practice, I will then call out the appropriate minute numbers and would ask members to indicate whether they wish to ask any questions on their remarks. Community Services, the 1st of June 2026. Danny?
Thank you, members. Yes, we had a very successful meeting. Several things approved. I remember them all off the top of my head, but it was a good debate and highlighted the efforts of council officers and where they've gone above and beyond. So it was a very productive meeting. I commend the report as it stands to the council.
Thank you, Councillor. Is the motion seconded? Councillor Chelsea. I'll run through each of these minutes. Minutes number 150, 151, 152, 3, 154, 155, 156, 57, 88, 159, 160 and 161.
Mr. Mayor, it might be appropriate to explain this piece of glassware at this particular point, reports from outside bodies. A delegation from Dunstable, including myself, Cynthia Gresham, John Stevens and Nigel Warren attended the celebration of the 50th anniversary of the Partnerschaftverein, which is the equivalent of our DITA, Dance for International Training Committee. And the celebration was held on the Saturday evening. Apart from that particular celebration, we were royally entertained during the course of 3.5 days. But at the celebration, we were presented with this plaque, and so was Hazebrook as well, because Ports is also twinned with Hazebrook in France. So we each have a memorial, which I think can possibly be placed somewhere in the town council as a mark of our unity and friendship with continuing with our partner in Ports, Germany. Thank you.
Good. Thank you. That's an Holic. I'm sure proud to display that gesture, and I think we need to pass on our thanks to Ports as well for that. Very much appreciated. Okay. No other questions on those points. It's been moved and seconded that the report be received. Those in favour? Against? I declare the motion to be carried. Now move on to the next agenda item, which is Grounds and Environmental Services on the 8th of June 2026. Councillor Michelle Henderson.
Thank you very much, Chair. That was it. There were a number of discussion points and some decisions made about some replacement of the vehicles that were needed for the grounds work. There are also a number of questions and a further report to follow on the prioritisation of the recreation grounds, and some of the matters were taken outside of the public, and they're back for full council today. So.
Is that motion seconded?
No,
Okay, I'll run through the minutes, which is 171, 172, 73, 74, 175, 76, 177, 78, 79, 180, 81, 182, 183, 184 and 185. Any questions at all? Okay, Councillor.
Sorry, the 183, is that coming up later on in the pack?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, I didn't read that far ahead.
It's okay. It's been moved and seconded that the report be received. Those in favour? Unanimous. I declare the motion to be carried. Next agenda item is the Finance and General Purposes Committee held on the 15th of June 2026. Councillor Johnson tomorrow.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm pleased to propose that a meeting of Monday, 15th of June be received.
Thank you, Councillor tomorrow. Is the motion seconded? We've run through the minutes. Again, if anyone's got any queries or questions, then please stop me at the point that they wish to speak. Minute one about 186, 187, 188, 189, 190, 191, 192, 193, 94, 195, 196, 97, 98, 199, 200 and 201. Okay, it's been moved and seconded that the report be received. Those in favour? Okay, that's unanimous. I declare the motion to be carried. Next item on the agenda is to receive a verbal update from the Dunstable Joint Committee. Call on Councillor Brennan to provide verbal updates as chair of the Dunstable Joint Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So Dunstable Joint Committee, it was a wonderful evening, fun. I was no longer chair of the committee when it came to the last meeting because my time had ended. However, there was a conflict within the members on the committee as to who should be chair for this particular round of meetings this year. So we couldn't decide because it was a stalemate and we didn't have enough councillors on either side to win that debate. So everyone decided that I should be chair again for one more meeting. They try and rally the troops on both sides of the argument and have either an independent or a conservative as the chair of the Dunstable Joint Committee. So that was fun. So if you're on the Dunstable Joint Committee, turn up next time because it's really good stuff. It's really, nail-biting stuff. We stood around for about probably 10-15 minutes, I think, sat around, so and then after that, I think we had the usual reports from the police, which was very interesting. We've had the same police officer coming frequently now, which is good because we've got continuity and we've got quite good reports coming from the police, I think. And even Central Bedfordshire as well, the reports that are coming in are being sort of tailor-made to the cohort of councillors that we've got. I think we're getting very specific information that we like. The only other specific thing was, as some of you may know, there were two groups that were vying for the chance to be a member of the Dunstable Joint Committee, public groups. There was the Dunstable Landlord Retailers Association, if I got that right. Yeah, that's good from memory, thanks to me. And we had another group which was very similar, that was around sort of community and business liaison within the town. That group had decided no longer to be a member of, or no longer to try and be a member of Dunstable Joint Committee. We weren't hearing from them anymore, but the committee agreed to include the Dunstable Landlords and Retailers Association as part of the committee. So they shall be joining us in our next meeting. We also had a report on the Dunstable CERT, which I think was very good. And one of the things that we agreed as part of the CERT, that we would try and get as many people as possible to communicate with those groups within the town that we think might be advantageous to be part of the CERT. So the Dunstable CERT, or the Community Emergency Response Team, is mainly a WhatsApp group which includes people within the community that would help in an emergency situation and liaise with Central Bedfordshire and try and get the word out on how we do things. So say, for instance, we've got the red weather warning currently for Wednesday. So some of you may know that Dunstable Library all libraries and community sports centres that are owned by Central Bedfordshire, within Central Bedfordshire, have said that they will be open during opening hours as a cool space, apart from Leighton Buzzard Leisure Centre, because their aircon isn't working. And it will cost lots of money to fix it, and they can't do that within 2 days. But so I hear. Anyway, so like that sort of thing, it's very important to sort of get the word out and stuff like that to people who are vulnerable, people who don't have air conditioning but may be vulnerable to a red heat weather warning. It would be important for them to know that they can go to the library and then just chill out for like an hour and just take the heat out of them, you know. So if there's any other groups like that or places, for instance, CBC is called for any other cool places that might have air conditioning, like clubs, like I don't know if the Conservative Club has air conditioning. Does it? I don't know. I'm asking a Conservative colleague. I don't know. I've never been in there, strangely. But so the Dunstable Cert would mean that like places like that would be a good place for people to get help, can be involved in that and can help people in times of crisis. So if you know of any community groups, even if it's like, say, and it works with all emergencies, if you've got like floods and there are people that have 4x4 vehicles that can gain access to places that would be inaccessible to other people in times of a flood, that would be a good person to be on the cert. It's about resources. And it's about having those resources in one place so that everyone can access them. So if you've got any questions about Dunstable Cert, or if you've got any suggestions, let me know. And I can talk to people, we can pass it on, or anyone else. Your other CBC councillors will be able to direct anyone to that Dunstable Cert, get more people involved. That's about it. Thanks, everyone.
About the funding.
What about the funding? Oh yeah, and we voted on the funding to be going to Dunstable Town Council. So as part of the sale of a portion of Meadway allotments, we had a section of funding that was delegated to Dunstable Joint Committee so that could go to a good cause that would help the town. And it had to be specifically about the town because that's what we decided. So, and at the last meeting, we agreed that funding would go to Dunstable Town Council in some specific circumstances, which escape me at this particular point in time. But one was about the pocket park by the busway, and there was another one.
Was it about for an extra attenuation tank?
Yeah.
Yes, but it's about money for attenuation tank at Bennett's Rec, match funding to go to Anglian Water. It's all flooding back to me. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Councillor Brennan. Let's end some first. Yeah.
Great, thank you. No, I just wanted to say, I think the topics and the purpose of the meeting, which is joint committee, is brilliant. The hybrid arrangements aren't actually working though, so there was me and a couple of other people who tried to attend. It was the meeting I remember, but the hybrid arrangements just weren't fit for purpose. So I would recommend that they use this venue or something like it, which does work with hybrid, and you can actually join online and hear everybody, and you can be heard. So yeah, it wasn't possible to actually join constructively. So
thank you, Michelle. I will pass that on because I also very much dislike the venue, but I would pass it on even if I did.
Councillor Ulster.
I think it was me. In terms,
Remember to stand up, sorry, while you're speaking.
Oh, yeah. In terms of advertising, say for like the relief centre during the upcoming red heat alert for sort of tomorrow and Thursday, is that a responsibility of CBC's or Dunstable Town Council? Is it a joint enterprise? I'm just wondering how we sort of propagate the message so people can see where it is, on Facebook, or whether it's whatever other media we're going to use to let people know.
Or Dunstable Community Cert.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, you can do if you like.
Regarding certs, there is an officer at Central Beds Council who is managing the certs for Central Beds and town and parish councils. So he will send out an alert. He sent out an alert today to anyone who's signed up on the cert or the cert WhatsApp. So I then chat, will be able to see that. And if other members of the CERT group do that as well for their groups or other Facebook groups, then the words get out. It's basically, as Councillor Brennan said, it's regarding the heat. It's places that Central Beds Council owns or runs, but if anyone else has got a site, they can always put it forward. They could contact the CERT officer and get it out that way.
So if I could just elaborate as well, the WhatsApp group is not exclusive. So please, anyone who wants to be, who can, and has access to like ways to share information, the WhatsApp group, you get alerts of stuff like the red weather warning, and it gives you an opportunity to share that in multiple places anywhere that you can. So if you have capacity, please send me a message and we can get you added to the WhatsApp group, and then you can get that alert straight away, and then you can share it. I also, the whole point that I brought the Dunstable CERT thing to Dunstable Joint Committee is because I think we need to make it more robust, and we need to have concrete policies around this stuff, exactly like the questions that you're asking. Like, because for me, I think there could be a delegation that Dunstable Town Council, who has a following of 13,000 followers on Facebook, I think it's more now, 16,000, I apologise. Dunstable could share that as soon as possible. So Dunstable could be getting that information out. I don't know if you have.
The information about we haven't shared information about the WhatsApp group. I think we've shared information about
The red weather warning, yeah, and the leisure sentence.
yeah. I'll check. But Wendy's nodding, so
Yeah.
Councillor Bates said yes.
Correct, okay.
So let me know if you want to be added to that, and or John is also a member. Just send one of us a message, and we can get you added to that WhatsApp group, and you can be part of that conversation.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Collins?
Yes, since this is meant to be so important, why don't we just include everybody anyway into the WhatsApp group that's on the committee? I would have thought that would have been a nice way forward.
Yeah, but with WhatsApp works, you have to apply, you have to go on it.
Yeah.
Councillor tomorrow.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I was just going to say to Councillor Colin, I think it's a matter of choice. Councillor's been asked if you want to be part of the WhatsApp. I'm part of the WhatsApp group. If you want to be part of the WhatsApp group, then make the decision to send Councillor Brennan a message to say, add me to the WhatsApp group. That's the best way to do it, rather than some people and so many groups, so many pinging coming, and you might not want to have any more. So it has to be a choice, and so the choice is to us as councillor to decide if we want to be part of that group. Okay.
Thank you. Okay, is there any more comments or questions that people want to ask on that? We shall move on. Thank you very much. We will now move on to the next agenda item, which is the Mayor's remarks, including the civic events and mayoral activities. I'm aware that Rob Leonard has also attended a few in the last month or so. He's not here to update, but I'm sure he can do that at a different time. Going through the list that I produced there for the agenda on my right up. We'll take it as a given that all of the comments have been read. I'll just quickly go through the salient points. In some of the most rewarding ones, obviously they're all fantastic events to go to, and it's really a pleasure supporting them and promoting Dunstable Town Council with each one I go to. The first one been there was the Dunstable FC Walking Group, which is an absolutely fantastic, enjoyable event to help support people with mental health issues with their walking football. It was a chance to put on the shirt and have a game with them, and we really appreciated it, and it was a really good time had by all. The Dunstable Sea Cadets was a very proud moment in presenting the Sea Cadets and the young people down there with their awards for the evening. It's great to see so many young people in our town progressing in what they actually did, and they did a very professional drill down there as well, which was fantastic to see. UK Curry Connect, which is a great experience seeing the culinary expertise behind some of the chefs and behind the kitchens, and now Dunstable in the Bedfordshire Central Bedfordshire College. So some very talented people there, all battling out for the day for their awards, which is fantastic to see. Bearcroft Community Centre, it was wonderful to be able to go down there and talk to the Good Companions Club and more elderly residents going on to that, who really do appreciate what they get out of it, and the friendship and the camaraderie they have with their friends, and the meals that they get down there as well. So they do really appreciate that. So it was nice to be able to touch base with them. The rest of the Councillor Hollick just mentioned with the ports. Ports is a delegation come across as to us on the 4th of June, and it was a pleasure to show them around. And we did a presentation. Me and Peter gave them a lot about the history and talked to them a fair bit about that. Showed them, gave them a brief tour of this building and around town as well, all the important points and historic parts which they were very interested in. The Dunstable Quadrant, that was another important one to highlight there. It's 60 years, so it's a real pleasure to have gone and helped unveil their celebrations, the 60th anniversary celebrations, 60 years on from when Bob Monkhouse actually opened it. So that was quite an event down there, with only two of the original shops going there, Heinz the Jewellers and Boots being the originals. It just goes to show how things change, but obviously the shopping centre has given a great service to the town. Then moving on, there was the car rally. Well, that was absolutely exceptional. You know, also part of that was the truck convoy, which I managed to get to drive down and accompany the lorry drivers, which really was a fantastic event. It's really quite touching to see so many people lining the route all the way to Flamstead. Even when you're coming by the Old People's Home, you know, and the people are out there and they're all waving the flags and waving things in the air, anything that they can get hold of. Even the people that couldn't make it outside were waving from their windows. So it was extremely touching, and it really was an absolute pleasure. And then obviously the day then led on to the car rally itself, which we had fantastic weather for, an absolutely amazing turnout of incredible cars, which me and Rob had a job to judge. It really was a fantastic day all round, and I think it was the biggest crowd that we've ever had there, isn't it? So it really was amazing for those that came along to it. It was a very memorable day. A couple of others to particularly note, there was the School of Performing Arts. The Pad Centre did a Grove Theatre show, showcasing their talents of what young people can do. And I have to say, there was various different showcases on there. One in particular regarding Oliver was absolutely outstanding. It really was as good as a West End show. So we've got some, you know, real talents in Dunstable to be proud of for our young people there. And that was followed on the next day as well by the Beds Central Beds College group, giving awards for all the students at Central Beds College who have gone above and beyond and achieved recognition awards during the year. So again, there's a lot to be proud of there for our young people. I'll let you read the rest through your leisure. Is there anyone that wants to ask any questions on those or anything? Yeah. Okay. Right, I shall move on then to the next part, which is the proposed motion for myself as town mayor. In the interest of promoting a more appropriate and unified civic leadership approach to the role of deputy mayor, and to better reflect the dignity, status and public expectations associated with the office, I propose that the relevant wording within the notes for the guidance of town mayor be amended to reinforce the principles of a joint leadership team, compromising both the mayor and deputy mayor. Specifically, I propose that the wording contained within point 8 of the mayoral handbook be amended to clarify that the deputy mayor is not required to seek the mayor's approval before wearing the deputy mayor's chamber office when undertaking official civic duties. This change will demonstrate a visible and much enhanced joint professional partnership at civic leadership level that better reflects the importance of the deputy mayor's office, promotes civic pride and reinforces the principles of collaborative working between the mayor and deputy mayor. specifically, I propose the guidance should now read as follows. 8A should be amended to reflect that the deputy mayor, deputy mayoress, consort will be expected to attend all annual civic functions, and chairs' badges of office should be worn as appropriate. As a general rule, the deputy mayor's chain badge of office should be worn at all major annual civic events and for all 4 council meetings, and when the deputy represents the mayor at official engagements and at all other events, receptions attended by the mayor and deputy mayor together in an official capacity. By enhancing the recognition of the deputy mayor as an integral part of the town's civic leadership, these changes would help ensure the role is better presented and respected in a manner consistent with its expected status and responsibilities. Do I have a second?
Hold 1 second. Before that,
Yes.
can you, sorry, 1 second. Could you say, what did it say before? Before your proposed changes, what was the word?
It actually stated that the deputy had to seek the mayor's approval for wearing their badge of office if they were present in their presence. So if they were going in the absence of the mayor, then it was a given they would be wearing that. But at all other times, you'd have to seek permission or not wear it if he was with the mayor. So I just think it gives a lot more civic respect, and it seems much more of a leadership thing to the to everyone, outside bodies and boroughs and etc. So just present it in a better way.
I think it needs a seconder before we can actually talk about it.
Yes, happy to second that.
Thank you, councillor Tomorrow. Sorry, I think we have another query.
Yeah, I'm just clarifying.
Councillor
So,
Anderson?
yeah.
Yeah.
Getting out the secrets before. So I just wanted to ask, so this is, so either the mayor or the deputy mayor only attends events that the council has approved their attendance for, is that right?
Yes, well, the Democratic Office receives invites from various different mayors and other town organisations for specific events. Obviously, the Democratic Services will take a look at that and see if it's deemed appropriate for the mayor or deputy mayor. If it is, then it always comes to the mayor first for approval if they can make it. If they can't, it gets put to the deputy mayor, because obviously there's overlaps for engagements. But there's some where obviously the attendants can both go to or whatever. So this takes out any of the ambiguity regarding, do I have to seek approval for that or not? They can just wear it all the time.
So it's a separate approval to wear the chain rather than
for their deputy.
Changing the way in which the approval for the attendance of the event.
That's something.
Okay, thank you for clarification.
Yeah. Councillor Hollick.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm not against the proposal, but what you're actually doing, if we agree this, is taking something away from the mayor, because where the two are together, the mayor is at the focus of attention, and if the deputy mayor is also wearing the chain, what was behind the original, or until we change it, idea is that it is the mayor who's probably been invited, and if the deputy mayor goes along, you're taking something away from the mayor. I only put that forward, but that was the idea behind the original, or what we have on at the moment.
Thank you, Councillor Hollick. I'll just respond on that, is that this is just really about not taking away something from the mayor or giving something to me. I just think it's more appropriate in the times that we live in to be able to be seen as a joint leadership role, that they're both supporting each other and promoting the town in a joint leadership way rather than individually. As I say, I don't think that the mayor's badge compared to the mayor's chain is any detriment to take that away. So I just think a joint approach is much more appropriate to outside bodies and other people. But that's my personal opinion. Councillor Brennan, I think.
So I agree with Councillor Hollick. I don't see it as being that beneficial to have the deputy also wearing their badge of office at the same time as the mayor. When you're both walking around the same events, like the whole point is to have a figurehead. Like we don't have two mayors, we have the one mayor. I think that's enough. I'm not a massive fan of the mayor, as not you personally, I mean the mayor. I'm not a massive fan myself. I think we should all just be equal. I know it's weird. We should all just be normal. And I think it perpetuates some sort of hierarchy and class divide. So, which I've said before, and people have vehemently disagreed with me. So I understand that, that's fine. But I don't think this is necessary. I think we can have one person wearing the chain and they are the figurehead. I think it would just be confusing if there's two people walking around and you're going, who's the other guy? And so I'm not in support of it. Thanks.
Thank you. That's brilliant. If I can just mention there a particular point of clarity which may help members, may or may not, but a particular point was on the motor rally, the car rally, where both me and Rob were both attending to judge the cars there. And later that day I did have to leave before the end of the, although we'd done our judging at the time, I had to leave that event to go to a different event, and which left my deputy mayor to be able to present the awards. So obviously in that respect he's not got any badge of office, and people wouldn't actually know in public who he actually is unless they know him. I wouldn't say that the deputy mayor's badge or seal of office is comparable to the mayor, so I just think it's better to have a joint approach that at least he can have the dignity of presenting awards, as in the car rally, on behalf of Dunstable Town Council with some sort of qualification to the public. Councillor, I think Councillor Tomorrow's next.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The reason I second this motion was that actually can't find any issue with it. If I take Councillor Brennan's idea of not having any hierarchy, this motion makes that point. So if you don't actually like the idea of having, one above the other, the current mayor is saying we're a joint partner. After all, we have deputy mayor, not just the mayor. The mayor does have a deputy. The mayor has a train. The deputy currently only have, what you call it, a badge. It's not the same as the chain that the mayor wears. So in light of joint working, in light of not having hierarchy, I think this is a fantastic motion. In my view, there's no point for anybody to be insecure about somebody else wearing the chain while you are in the same building. What the mayor is saying is, if I, for any reason, are going to leave that event, I have a deputy that represents this town, and they're there to do the same job. So it's not because the mayor is in the building, takes away the fact that he's the mayor and the deputy is no longer a deputy mayor. The deputy is the deputy mayor after all. And when you say somebody is deputy, it means you're working together. And I think this motion is not trying to take away from the mayor, but it's rather trying to recognize the fact that you're in partnership to represent this town. And I second this motion. I think councillors should vote for it.
Thank you, Councillor Tomorrow. That sums up exactly what the meaning and the whole reason why I put it forward in the first place. So calling. Sorry.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I agree with this motion. I think it's sensible. I agree with the points you've made around it being a joint role. Both the mayor and, to my mind, both the mayor and the deputy mayor are both office holders, and I don't see the reason why the mayor should be able to sign off or reject the choice of badge holding of wearing the office of deputy mayor. I think that's odd, personally. So I'm in favour of this.
Councillor Alderman. Anyone else wish to speak? Oh, Councillor Corley.
Yeah, I'm just want a little bit of clarity because I feel like the conversation's gone off on a bit of a tangent. This is just a technical thing. From what I'm reading of the before the amendment, it says that Deputy Mayor's chain and badge of office should be worn at all major annual civic events and for full. So he'd be wearing it anyway. This is just without your deemed permission. Is that right?
Not quite. So the current version says, with the whole thing, the Deputy Mayor and Deputy Mayor's consort will be expected to attend all the annual civic functions, and chain's badge of office should be worn as appropriate at the annual civic functions. As a general rule, the chain or badge of office should be worn at all the major annual civic events and for full council meetings, and when the deputy represents the mayor at official engagements. So that's not changing. However, at all other events or receptions attended by the mayor in an official capacity, the deputy's chain of office should not be worn unless they've been specifically requested to do so by the mayor. So it's for any other events that aren't the main ones in the year, the deputy only gets to wear the badge if the mayor specifically invites them to do so. So the proposal is to change that to say the mayor, or if the mayor and the deputy are both present, they both always wear their badges. That's the proposed change.
So what's been said here in support of it, basically, that we've got a deputy mayor, he's got the chain, he should have the opportunity to wear the chain at every occasion. Okay, so I think now go to the actual vote. So those in favour?
I don't think it's unanimous.
It was before.
There's one abstention.
You
Doesn't actually change this.
No, it doesn't change the opinion.
It doesn't change because what if done it.
It makes any difference.
But we're policy makers, so it's better to be clear on policy. So
Yeah. So with that, I declare the motion to be carried. We now move on to the report that I think Lisa is going to represent regarding finance and general purposes.
Evening, members. So I'm just going to present the report on the annual governance and accountability return for 2025-26 financial year. As you can see from the report, the purpose is to present members with the first internal audit report. Final internal audit report for the financial year 25-26, which obviously ended on the 31st of March. This was also presented to Finance and General Purposes Committee on the 15th of June, and members were pleased to note that the auditor commented on the high standard and information provided with audit trails and clear cross-referencing of all documentation. As part of the annual governance and accountability return, the internal auditor does also sign off a section of that when they've done their relevant checks, as included a copy in the agenda pack. So then moving on to approve the annual governance statement and accounting statements. So a copy was provided for information with the agenda pack. The original was here for the chair, Councillor Atwell, as the mayor, to sign the document, along with Paul as the town clerk and chief executive. I myself, as a responsible financial officer, has already signed this prior to the meeting as required. So there's two sections to be signed. We'll come back to, and then just to note, finally, on the recommendations, the council's loans and long-term liabilities as at the 31st of March, so as at the end of financial year 25-26, appended to the report. As members will note that the council currently, or as at March, had 7 loans, currently with Public Works Loan Board, with one ending in November 2026.
So we will take the report recommendations in order to approve the statements and the governance. It's recommended that the council approve the annual governance statements and the accounting statements as part of the annual governance and accountability return for the year ending 31st of March 2026 for submission to the council external auditor. In compliance with the Local Audit and Accountability Act 2014 and the Accounts and Audit Regulations 2025 S1 2015 3234 as presented at Appendix 2. Is the motion proposed? Thank you. Thank
Happy
you.
to propose the motion.
Is the motion seconded?
Mr Mayor, I second the motion.
Thank you very much. Those in favour? Okay, that's unanimous. I declare the motion to be carried. Thank you. Okay, we move on to 1.3, which is recommended to authorise the chair and clerk to sign the annual government statement. Oh, that's what we've just done. We've just done. Okay. So we can now move on to the accounting statements. Yeah, it's a separate thing. It's recommended to authorise the chair to sign the accounting statements. Is the motion proposed?
Happy to propose the motion.
Thank you, Councillor. Is the motion seconded?
I'm happy to second it.
Thank you, Councillor Penn. Those in favour? Okay, that's unanimous again. Next point is 211.26 to review the membership of the new cemetery working group. There's currently 4 members of the new cemetery working group with our councillors Matthew Brennan, Kenson Gurney and myself. Are there any other nominations that we need to put forward to that?
So can we go back just to the last agenda item, because I feel we ought to give a thank you to Lisa and the team, because each time we look at the internal report and indeed the other reports, for there to be no comment in terms of anything that needs to be recommended, I think is always good. And it obviously does show that we can have confidence in our financial team. And I really wanted to say that. And I think we as councillors appreciate the way that the finance is managed at this council. So congratulations to the team, and please pass that on to others involved. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Okay, so we move on then to 211.26 to review membership of the new cemetery working group. There are currently 4 members of the new cemetery working group, which were Councillor Gregory Alderman, Matthew Brennan, Kenson Gurney and myself. Obviously we need to look for new nominations as the makeup of that has now changed. So we need to clarify the proposed membership. It's proposed to appoint some councillors, extra councillors to this group, if anyone's like-minded to be able to nominate themselves.
It's the mayor. I think I'll have to remove myself from that working group due to commitments. So.
To ask as well, have we got committee that I chair? Any member? Sorry, off the top of my head, I can't see how many members of that committee are on here, because that would be helpful if there were. So
There's Richard, Matt and Kenson.
is
Richard and Kenson.
Yeah, and I'll be.
I'll come in that
Okay.
working group.
Is there
So I'm wondering, would it be a good idea to consider co-opted members of the new cemetery working group that might have an interest in what the new cemetery is going to look like, or what it's going to involve? That could be a member of the public that has either a specific interest in a cemetery or specific expertise in cemeteries. I don't know if that's a thing in Dunstable, but it might be a good idea for us to look into so that there is greater public participation in this item.
So so technically that would be in order. So you can appoint co-opted members to any committees, possibly except for FGP. And it can be a really good way of getting other people involved in council discussion. It's, like I said, only working group. I mean, it doesn't have delegated authority to make any decisions. It's just a place for members to go and have detailed discussions and input them. So if there are any individuals members that would be appropriate to be co-opted to that committee, that could be a really good idea. It might be easier for the purposes of this evening to agree council members and possibly an agree in principle to consider co-opted members, and then we can go away and work out who that might be, because nobody springs to my mind. Members may have immediate suggestions. Generally, it's better to actually ask someone before you put them on a committee as well. So that would be my proposed way forward.
That's all right.
Thank you. Yes, I think widening the ambit of those members might be helpful. The Friends of Dunstable Cemetery come to mind because they have an interest in the cemetery. They help to look after it and so on, and I think possibly even raise funds. I don't know, but also I thought maybe or a representative from one of the funeral directors might also be appropriate. And if since there are 3 members now short on the committee, I think possibly there was one proposal just now, but I'd be happy to go on if that helps.
Thank you, Councillor Honeck. Can I just clarify, Paul? Sorry, would we have members of the public and or co-opted bodies join at this stage, or would we recommend that's a bit?
My suggestion was that we'd agree in principle without naming them, but then for the next meeting,
Right,
we would then firm that up.
so we're going to receive that via emails of people definitely have to be on it more. Okay.
So in the spirit of keeping a diversity in the group, considering whether co-opting members is a good idea and where they come from, probably need to think about the balance of councillors. So if you need another person to join that, I'm happy to do that.
Okay, so we're going to actually be to the point where we're going to propose and approve the actual motion, even though we haven't got the actual.
Yeah, well, we can put the council points.
Yeah, this is okay. Okay, it's proposed to appoint councillors to the new cemetery working group. Is the motion proposed?
Just clarify which councillors. So I've got councillors.
Councillor Honeck and Councillor Henderson. And
Councillor
still Kenson Gurney and still Councillor Atwell.
Yeah. And removing Councillor Alban.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, Councillor Brennan's coming, isn't
It is or it is.
Yeah, he's still on it.
Yeah, but also.
I didn't think so.
Okay, so are we in a position to propose appointed councillors to the new cemetery working group? Is the motion proposed?
Mr. Mayor, I'm happy to propose.
Is the motion seconded?
I'm happy to second that, sorry.
Those in favour? Okay, that's unanimous. I declare the motion to be carried. And move on to point 21226, which is refer reports from the Finance and General Purposes Committee. Finance and General Purposes Committee has recommended that the council approve the updated health and safety policies. We've had a chance to review all these or want to discuss beforehand. Any discussion on this topic?
Yes. No, I can comment. I think as we discussed at our committee and went through in some detail, and it all seemed very sensible.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The full report is not in this pack, but I can confirm that we went through the recommendation. I think there were slight changes to the health and safety policy, and council will discuss it, and we were happy with what was proposed.
Yes, please.
Yeah, members, there aren't any substantive changes to the health and safety policy. The only changes were to do with making clear it names the correct 3 of service.
Yes.
And also it clarified that heads of service are not responsible for removing all risk, but they are responsible for identifying and mitigating risk, which is the appropriate process.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, is the motion proposed?
To me, no, I'm happy to propose the motion.
You, is the motion seconded?
Happy to second.
Thank you. Those in favour? I declare the motion to be carried. And move on to the next point in the agenda, 21326, to receive the reports and updates by members of Central Bedfordshire Council on matters of interest to the Town Council. Do any members of Central Bedfordshire Council wish to speak on this matter?
Be done.
Bill, do you know anything?
What specifically to the towers?
Specifically for this?
Yeah, well, I'll
Okay.
go on.
Okay. So high street rental auctions. Fun stuff. Do you remember that? Anyone? Rental auctions. So high street rental auctions is something that was proposed by the previous Conservative government and run with by the Labour government, who have now put it into place, and Central Bedfordshire have now agreed a point where high street rental auctions can go forward. That's where the council will, if you highlight a building that is like a business premises that has been vacant for over a year and it meets a certain criteria, then the council can force the landlord of that property to auction it as a rental property for a business. So if they're holding on to it for, let's say, like Mint Room. You all know Mint Room? I used to know it as Winston Churchill. I'm not suggesting that that's going to happen. I don't actually know anything about Mint Room or Winston Churchill. Like what the company is doing, I don't know what's going on. But like that's been vacant for God knows how long. So was the Winston Churchill. So theoretically, the council could force that company, the owner of that property, to rent it out, and it would force them to open up the property, which means we would have less vacant properties within the high street. So I was recently told that the next step is for people to identify those properties that would most benefit from high street rental auctions. So if you can think of anywhere, like Mint Room, I believe that Becky and the town council have done an extraordinary amount of work in this already. So they are most likely best placed to be deciding on what we put forward. And I've actually emailed Becky Wisby to try and get that information to try and get the ball rolling, because I want to push it and I want Dunstable to start thriving again. So yeah, that's something that's happening from Central Bedfordshire's perspective. So yeah, that's it. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Katarski.
It's just, sorry, it's just to point out that the list has been done by Dunstable Town Council, please.
Yeah, just to respond, that Becky's done a lot of work with CBC already, listing of auctions, so she'd be very happy to have a detailed conversation with you about it.
There are 2 items that are for discussion at the moment. There's devolution, which is an email has gone out to all Central Beds Council members today regarding the government has made an offer to Central Beds Council to start the devolution process. Although the offer from the government is a financial offer of £250,000, which is nothing like the millions that were being talked about a couple of years ago. So that will probably be debated at the next full council. There was also an issue regarding changing to planning. and the government's wish to curtail the rights of planning committees on how they approve or processes involved. As a member of the DMC, I will be attending a briefing on that next month, so I'll be waiting to get more information. I hope to give more updates on this in the coming future.
Councillor Gurney, do you know if the DMC discussion will be a public meeting or is it closed to the council?
The initial briefing will be to members of the DMC, and I will ask at the meeting if I can give information to the town council.
Wish to speak on? Okay, we move on to the next point then, which is Dunstable Rotary. Now, I know that obviously as corporate members of being Dunstable Town Council, that this responsibility is divided amongst many of us here. I'm not sure if anyone's actually attended any of the meetings recently. If they have, can you please indicate? It's Holly. That's Holly.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I actually gave a talk to the Rotary group. I think it's probably last September time, but I'm happy to go again if we feel that representative. We sort of agreed that a representative would go.
Yeah.
Not necessarily every time, but we should certainly make a presence there to show support. I'm happy to do that again.
That's a big task.
Just to start, obviously they're attending the Sunday band displays and Saturday on Sunday. They're quite pleased they've got inquiries about membership from the public. Good. So their presence at the band committee is good for them and us. Yeah, I'm aware that they continue to get some sterling efforts around town, the things they do, so they really are a great supportive group.
Yeah, and members, just a reminder that we are a corporate member of Rotary, which is almost up for our first renewal. I'm assuming the members want to carry on doing that because it was debated at some length during the first place. And that the agreement was the mayor and the deputy and the 3 committee chairs have an open invitation to attend Rotary's Tuesday lunchtime meetings when they're available. And I go when I'm able. I can't go for some time, but hopefully. Golf club.
Yeah, I think they sometimes have some of the government and they have some of the Luton, sorry, the Garden Club.
No, not now. They've cancelled those.
They cancelled that, didn't we? But okay. We now move on to the Bedfordshire Association of Town and Parish Council. Let's go.
Very good. Okay, 2 interesting things. One, we are about to be offered a parish charter.
That's good.
This, as we understand it, is going to be that we can put up our own road signs, for instance. Oh, we won't quite be allowed to put them up ourselves. Central Bedfordshire Council will still have to do the work, but we can ask for them. They will quote us a price. They will then put it up, and we will then pay them for the work. It seemed a very hollow offer when it was presented to the association, Bedfordshire Association of Town and Parish Councils, of which there are 72, I think, or 73. I have asked to see a copy just so I can assess, is this an empty offer of paperwork to charge it for? I've been refused. So I am somewhat suspicious of this, but it's coming. And row this thing in a better direction for the small councils. This council probably wouldn't suffer that much, but we have brilliant officers who can handle this. Or councils where they are volunteers, they are basically councillors who double up as officers, or they have a part-time officer who comes in, don't have the manpower to operate Central Bedfordshire properly. Our officers do a great job. That's one thing. The second thing is more of an appeal than anything else. I have been going to their annual meetings for 4 years, 5 years, a while, and we get 3 tickets. And they always say, are you 1, 2 or 3? And I'm like, I'm all of them. And it really, I would love 2 other members to come with me. It's the Rufus Centre in Lamb. It's a couple of free sandwiches, a couple of talks, but we do see most of the other town and parish councils, and we can sort of find out where they're up to with central beds in that process. So it can be a useful thing. So if any of you would like to come, I would love to take you. And they actually said, because I do make talks and things out of these things, bring as many as you like. So we can all go if you want. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, any questions on Bedfordshire Association of Town? Yes.
This is the meetings, is it during the day or is it evenings?
Evenings.
Okay. Yeah, fine.
So the annual one will be 7 o'clock, I think. Kicks off, same as ours.
And location again, sorry,
that's the Rufus Centre in Amtill. But I'm happy to split it, yeah. I'm happy to do it. Councillor Burns.
So I just want to say, St Freedman's Church on Westfield Road really needs a sign at the bottom of the road that points to it, saying there's a church up there. I've asked for it a few times from Central Bedfordshire. I'm not getting one. So
this is what the parish charter would perhaps have.
Yeah, take care on that. So,
I'd love it.
Pending the duties and so forth. Thank you very much for that.
I'd break it.
Email me or phone.
Okay, we now move on to the next agenda item, which is exclusion of the public and press. It's recommended in terms of the Schedule 12A.
Just before we do that. Yes, Choose House.
Whose house is that?
Not on this agenda.
Not on this
No,
agenda.
no.
It's a different agenda. Okay, so exclusion of press and public is recommended in terms of Schedule 12A Local Government Act 1972. The following items be likely to disclose exempt information relating to the establishment and contractual matters, and it is therefore recommended that pursuant to the provisions of the Public Policies Administration to Meetings Act 1960, the public and press be excluded. Is there a proposer?
I propose.
Thank you, Councillor Gurney. Is the motion seconded?
I'll put a second motion.
Thank you, Councillor Tamar. Those in favour?